All right, here we are, round 7. It's Monaco, the start of the greatest day in motorsports. Let's get down really quick. Personally, just from looking at the data, watching the practice session, this is Leclerc's race to lose. Now, it gets interesting when we're looking at our second most expensive guy we want to go to. When we're looking at the practice speeds and we're looking at how everybody is going through the corners, and this is something I kind of talked about earlier in the week, is we might see a situation to where we might have 3 different manufacturers in the top 3, or we have a situation where Max Verstappen is stuck running 4th in this race and finishes 4th. Looking at the practice sessions, his teammate, Perez, is slightly faster than Verstappen here. And I honestly like the idea of playing Perez over Verstappen. Now it's looking like it's going to be in the wet. It's looking like it is going to rain tomorrow, so keep that in mind. Usually we have at least 1 or 2 incidents at Monaco just due to it being such a tight track. But if it's raining, the chance that we have guys mess up greatly increases. Personally, I believe that Sainz and Verstappen are the 2 guys that might end up running into issues in that, because Verstappen looks like he has the 4th best car this weekend. Across the board, he's been 4th. He's been consistently 4th best. I don't think he gets a podium in this race. And like I actually like Perez here. $8,600 for, I think, the Red Bull entry that's going to finish higher between the 2 guys. Personally, I like Perez. If you want to go Verstappen, we're going to be in the same situation of talking about where we want to go off of the chalk plays. Now, I think it's going to be a situation where the chalk plays at the bottom are pretty obvious. Vettel is most likely going to contend for at least a 12th place finish. If things get crazy, I can see him staying 9th. I can see him getting the points. And as I talked about in the video earlier in the week, this is a racetrack to where I don't think there's going to be much passing. I mean, and I'm not saying that just because, looking back at other races, there's not much passing, but in a sense, like, you're going to be racing where you start. There's not going to be guys coming from the back half of the field into the points. And excuse me, I don't think there's going to be guys from the top half of the field falling out of the points. And so clearly, I think Vettel is going to be chalk down there. Same thing with Tsunoda and Albon. Personally, for me, I would actually prefer to go to Tsunoda over Vettel and just hope Vettel runs into some issues, or take both Vettel and Tsunoda and don't play Albon. Try to avoid that. At least Tsunoda and Vettel give you the upside of finishing in the points, whereas Albon is just going to survive, and he'll most likely, finish 18th, 19th. This is also a situation where if we think things are going to get crazy and we're going to end up running into guys not finishing races or wrecking out, it leans to Tsunoda being one of those guys that makes a mistake, and so Gasly then becomes, the chalk play at the bottom. I don't think we necessarily have to worry about ownership a lot, but that's just my thoughts going through this. Looking at guys that I actually try and want to go out of my way to get in this race, guys that are projecting well for me: Fernando Alonso, George Russell, and Perez are the 3 guys that I want to try and get to that I think are going to end up being lower owned and get you on a different build. I don't want to play any Ricardo. I don't want to play any Schumacher. I'm going to try and pass on Stroll. Certainly Latifi. I'm not going to go on Ocon, or I don't want to deal with Esteban at 6,400. And this is a situation where the 6 to 7K range is very, very difficult to get to. And like I'm just saying, if you want to take a stance and you think Verstappen struggles, I think Perez is a great play. Now, if you're playing Perez, you're giving up on Norris, you're giving up on Alonso, you're giving up on all these guys here. If you don't play Perez and you're clearly going to 2 of the punt plays at the bottom of the salary range, I think, as I said last week and the week before, I think Bottas is a great play at $8,200. I think Lando Norris is a great play at $7,400. I like Alonso as well. These are guys that I believe are going to stay up there, beat their teammates, so they give you the automatic 5 points, and they're going to stay in the points. And that is what we're looking for, is guys that are going to be starting in the top 10 in the points, or guys who can work their way in there. And the only 2 guys that I see falling into that is Tsunoda and Botas, and that's it. And so for me, I want to try and get off the Albon chalk as much as I can. I know he's he's an easy play at $4,000. He's going to fit into nearly every single line, but he's the guy I want to try and get off of. I'd much rather try and be higher on Tsunoda than Albon. But that's my 2 cents entering the Monaco Grand Prix to start your Sunday. Thank you for watching, and consider, hey, maybe if you score well or you tie for first or something like that, consider joining the Patreon on June 1st, or consider donating through the PayPal link in the description below. And either way, thank you for watching. Hopefully this helps you out, and we'll see you guys in the live show tomorrow for the Cup Series.